Welcome to Deep Cuff Channel. Victory of the Ukrainian army is now much closer. President of Ukraine Zelensky gave the first signal that the war has entered a new phase. Conflicts in various regions are the biggest evidence of the increase in Russian casualties. Explosion sounds are heard from the Sevastopol port of the Russian-controlled Crimea. Russia is alarmed, trying to increase security measures on the Crimean Peninsula. Russia has sent some of its most advanced aircraft to the front. European leaders shared their shocking views on the Ukraine-Russian war. Military preparations of NATO countries have been accelerated. Ukraine's allies in the war could increase at any time. Ukrainian army continues to destroy the Russians with its victories at the front. According to the latest statement made by the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, Russia lost 410 soldiers, 2 tanks, 5 armored combat vehicles, and 5 artillery systems as a result of the operations organized by the Ukrainian army. Ukrainian General Staff underlines that the Russian casualties are especially in the Avdiivka, Bakhmut and Lyman regions. Although it is said that these attacks were carried out especially with HIMARS systems provided by the U.S. Army, local sources report that warplanes belonging to the Ukrainian army also participated in the operations. Meanwhile, the head of Luhansk Oblast, Serhiy Haidai, said that with the approaching winter season, there is more positive news, especially from the Ukrainian troops in the Luhansk region. Haidai reported that the Ukrainian army was gradually advancing in the direction of Svartov-Kremenna. While Haidai was making a statement, Russian generals ordered artillery and missile units in the Donetsk and Luhansk regions to fire. In the operations confirmed by the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, Russia targeted many areas under the control of the Ukrainian army, especially Bilo-Horivka, Spirn, Berestov and Bakhmut regions are stated as the regions that were affected by the Russian attacks at the maximum level. In addition to 5 missile attacks on settlements in the Kharkiv and Donetsk regions, Russian forces carried out about 45 attacks on the positions of the Ukrainian armed forces and Ukrainian villages, using multiple launch rocket systems. It was stated that 95% of these attacks were destroyed by the Ukrainian air defense systems, and it was noted that a few shells that fell on the area did not cause serious damage. In addition, the head of the Dnipropetrovsk military administration, Valentin Reznichenko, gave new information about the attack launched by Russian troops in this region at night. Russians launched a massive attack on the Dnipropetrovsk region at night. We think they have carried out a total of 30 missile attacks so far. We do not have clear information about the damage yet, but our air defense is doing a good job, Reznichenko said. These attacks carried out by the Russian army are made to slow the pace of the Ukrainian armies, which continue to advance on the fronts. But because the Ukrainian generals know what this Russian strategy means, they deal them a bigger blow after each Russian attack. It was stated that the port of Sevastopol, which was attacked by unmanned aerial and sea vehicles in recent weeks, was attacked again. Independent officials said Sevastopol, home to Russia's Black Sea Fleet, was attacked by Ukrainian drones. This attack first emerged after the images that appeared on social media and lasted for about 1 hour. Kremlin officials confirmed Ukraine's attack on the Russian-controlled Crimean Peninsula, adding that Moscow forces were on the lookout. 3 more drone attacks were repelled in the skies of Sevastopol, Crimean Governor Mikhail Razvozov said in a statement. After the attack, it was noted that military activities and ship transfers were stopped in the Sevastopol port. Sabrina Singh, Pentagon Deputy Press Secretary, told the War Zone that the Pentagon had no knowledge of the attacks. If the drones used by the Ukrainian army had actually carried out this attack, the Ukrainian ground troops would have been closer than we thought to reach the Crimea. Because since the beginning of the war, the Ukrainian army has been using this strategy to seize the targeted areas. First, they conduct air operations with unmanned aerial vehicles and warplanes, and then they seize that area with their invincible ground forces. Russia will have noticed this strategy of the Ukrainian army and is trying to take new measures against it. According to Andriy Chernyak, representative of the Intelligence Main Directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, Russia has instructed its troops in Crimea to establish an emergency line of defense and strengthen their positions. Andriy Chernyak said, "We see that they are actively making defensive preparations. They form a defensive strip both on the left bank of the Dnieper in the Kherson region and on the administrative border with the Crimea in the north of the peninsula. They are building two positions, especially in the north of Jankoy district. This is very important for them, because as a result of the counterattack of the Ukrainian forces, the north of Crimea will be our first target," he said. Speaking about the evacuation of the Russians and their collaborators from the Kherson and Zaporizhia regions, the military intelligence representative noted that most of them were trying to go to Russian territory, not to the Crimea. They understand that one way or another Crimea will be lost to Russia and will return to Ukraine, said Chernyak, pointing to the psychological collapse of the Russian army. "We already knew that Russia deployed ships of the Black Sea Fleet to the region to protect Crimea. However, after the attack on Sevastopol, Russia quickly shifted its warplanes and ships from this region to the eastern Black Sea. After the last incident, Sergei Surovikin, the general of the Russian army, who commanded the war in Ukraine, ordered his troops to attack immediately. Following this order, Russia brought Tu-95 strategic bombers into Ukrainian airspace to carry out a possible missile attack. The military chief of the Mykolaiv region, Vitaly Kim, confirmed that 9 Tu-95 aircraft of the Russian Air Force entered the region, underlining that the threat of airstrikes continues. These Russian aircraft have been used effectively at the front since the beginning of the war. Ukrainian military uses air defense systems to keep these planes out of its airspace, but it's fair to say that this is only partially beneficial. Meanwhile, European countries are taking brand new measures against the rising Russian threat. Just now, German Defense Minister Christine Lambrecht spoke about the Russia-Ukraine war. Christine Lambrecht said that the conflicts in Ukraine will continue for a long time. Also, Lambrecht said, "I do not want to give false hope that this war will end soon, in the coming days or weeks. We must assume that this war will continue for a long time, and therefore we must be ready to support our ally, Ukraine." Immediately after Lambrecht's statements, Britain announced a brand new aid package to the Ukrainian army. British Defense Secretary Ben Wallace said that his country will send a total of 3 Westland WS-61 Seeking anti-submarine warfare helicopters to Ukraine. Information was also confirmed by British broadcaster The Times. These helicopters will be removed from the inventory of the British Royal Navy and sent to Ukraine. Delivery is very important for both Ukraine and UK. According to The Times, one of the 3 helicopters has already been sent to Ukraine and is being prepared for operational combat capability. Soon this helicopter will be fully operational. With this helicopter, Ukraine will gain a serious power multiplier with the air threat it will pose against the Russian Navy. In addition, the new customers of HIMARS systems in Europe, which gained a great sales potential especially with the Russia-Ukraine war, draw attention. It is recorded that Poland and Lithuania have started the necessary initiatives to purchase these systems, and even a few systems are on their way to the Baltic regions. Effectiveness and success of these systems at the front was proven by the use of the Ukrainian army. I wish the orders of allied countries to be delivered quickly. Victory for Ukraine. We will continue to monitor the world and especially Ukraine. We'll see what happens in the next few days. We have reached the end of another video. You can support us by liking the video. You can easily follow new videos by subscribing. I wish you all a war-free day. See you.